Hi, friends.
I'm Zach.
I'm Mitch.
And we are an excellent little podcast.
Presenting you a little movie podcast starring Zach and Mitch.
Wait, we're doing a podcast?
We are. Just hold on one second. There we are. Yeah, we are doing a podcast starring Zach and Mitch.
You were kind of down us doing a podcast this time. But yes, we are doing a excellent little podcast with the Little Movie Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm feeling, I don't know, you kind of look a little disenchanted today.
I am feeling a little disenchanted because we have to review this movie. Even though I didn't want to.
Hey, I wanted to. So.
I know you wanted to, but there's some films that I want to review that you do not.
That's true.
But that's because we're
a little popular on the Disney cast member side. So
yeah.
it was we kind of had to do it whether we would like to or
yeah,
not.
so speaking of Disenchanted, this was made on Disney Plus, meaning it was made by Disney. We are Disney cast members, so therefore we do not speak for the brand or the company. Our thoughts and our opinions are our own.
That they are. But so this direct to Disney Plus movie was directed by Adam Sharkman, and the screenplay was by Bridget Hales. So you mentioned you were not a fan of this. So what do you think of our director and our screenplay?
They were given a lame streaming budget, and it showed the comedy was flat. The directing for me was actually okay, but about on par with the original Enchanted, which I actually watched an hour before I started this.
Oh, so you did a full-on double feature.
Yeah, I did a full double feature. But the comedy was flat. The plot line was a little meh. The music was okay, but I just felt that this was another byproduct of a certain somebody who was recently fired.
Well, again,
yeah.
Chapek did announce layoffs are coming.
Yep. I mean, he had it coming.
Just not in the way he was expecting.
Nope.
But yeah, I have to kind of disagree with you a little bit on the screenplay.
You can do what the hell you want. I mean, as long as it's wrong.
No, you're fine. But I thought the idea of having Giselle start to become a villain, I thought that was pretty fun and pretty genius. So I really, really liked that idea. Liked the idea of diving into the stepmother idea even more so on because Enchanted did talk about like stepmothers and how not all are bad, but it was interesting to see Giselle being the bad stepmother on this one. So I really, really kind of enjoyed that. There were some plot threads that weren't as amazing, I will also agree on. So I thought the script kind of ebbed and flowed a little bit.
All right, so a brief summary. 15 years after her happily ever after, Giselle questions her happiness, inadvertently turning the lives of those in the real world and
Andalasia
upside down in the process. Mm-hmm. Thank you, IMDb.
Yep.
So, Zach.
Yeah.
Would you mind splitting up the episode?
Yeah, absolutely. So for those that are a little new to Little Movie Podcast, welcome. And we like to kind of split things up into 3 different areas here. We have our non-spoiler section where we talk about our first thoughts, our cast performances, some non-spoilery things, and then we kind of get into the review section, which Mitch will wonderfully talk about a little more in detail when we get to there. Mm-hmm. And then we sound our alarm and dive into our spoiler section. So
alarm. What? No,
don't worry, my friends. We will get to that. So go ahead and sit back, strap in. We're going to go ahead and get right into our first thoughts. Mitch, you kind of alluded to it. What were your kind of first thoughts on Disenchanted?
This movie stank.
Oh, yeah?
Not like horrible stank. I would say, like, if you know Monsters, Inc., the deodorant that they have,
mm-hmm.
like, it's one of those, like,
you got wet dog,
smelly garbage. Like, it was something. Like, it had bits, it had pieces, but they just weren't put together, and I just felt like this was just a film that was like, well, we need an IP on Disney Plus, so let's put a sequel to Enchanted. So let's make Disenchanted. I just felt a lot of studio interference. Performances were fine. Okay. Music was fine, but just some of the screenplay and a lot of the story bits, I'm just like, no, this is just not working for me.
Sure.
So I will give a full detailed review, or it's probably gonna be quick once we get there. But
yeah,
Zach, what'd you think?
So I kind of did enjoy this a little bit. Was it perfect? No. There were some sore spots, definitely, but I really loved some of our performances here. It was great seeing Amy Adams back as Giselle. I really very much enjoyed seeing her back in that role again. I also very much enjoyed seeing seeing Alan Menken come back to score yet again. The script kind of left a few things to be desired, but I enjoyed it overall. And yeah, I just kind of love the premise. So I actually didn't mind this film. I thought that this was actually pretty decent.
Well, fine. Let's talk about the cast. Amy Adams as Giselle was a highlight for me.
Definitely. And it's really interesting to see her kind of, for being that very stereotypical Disney princess in the first one, to see her kind of be in the real world, kind of has become more our worldly kind of a princess-ish like attitude.
Yeah.
But then start to take on a little bit more of the villainous role. And it was really great to see Amy Adams kind of flip between the two personalities. I thought that was a really fun choice.
Yeah, I really agree. I feel like this was a chance for somebody to play the kind of nasty, like, evil queen and like evil who's the stepmother, Lady Tremaine.
Yeah,
kind of that I haven't seen that in a long time, so I got to give props to Amy Adams for that. That's almost near impossible to go from like this preppy, like I'm silly and everything, to this like I'm gonna be mean, I'm gonna be nasty, like, and she would turn it on its head like immediately.
Yeah,
it was really neat. But I gotta give props to this young actress.
Oh yeah,
correct me if I'm wrong. Gabriella
Baldacchino.
We are so sorry for butchering
Again,
your
sorry,
name,
Morgan.
but she played Morgan. She did well.
Oh yeah,
you gotta give credit to where credit is due, and she did very well.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, I am a little sad that the original Morgan didn't come back to play Morgan.
She made a cameo.
She does make a cameo, which was fun. But I am sad that she wasn't the one to actually play Morgan again. But Gabriella did actually a really still phenomenal job with the part.
Sure.
I really did enjoy a lot of the softer moments. Her song is actually one of the biggest highlights of the film, I feel like. She plays a really good young heroine coming into her own to take over for Giselle when Giselle kind of starts losing her way. Really phenomenally well balanced for her.
Yeah. Okay, so those are the two highlights for the cast. These next two
left a little more to be desired.
Patrick Dempsey as Robert.
So can I take the lead on this specific one?
Please do, because I don't have much to say.
Yeah. So I love the concept that they had for him. Of he's kind of having a little bit of a midlife crisis. He doesn't like, transporting, doing the rat race into the city and then coming back to the suburbs. He's not so much a fan of being away from his family as much. So that kind of manifests into him having a midlife crisis of what he should be doing when the world starts turning into a fairy tale. Is he a hero? Is he a police officer? Like what? Like who is he? But in terms of actually kind of like when it was, when they actually tried to do it and put it into practice, it kind of fell apart and it kind of became a B plot that became very uninteresting very fast and then also disappeared very quickly.
Yeah, I didn't like his performance at all. I'm just going to throw it out there. I feel like he was just there just for a paycheck.
I feel like, just because he was in the last movie, I feel like they were like, you have to be in this movie.
I mean, I'm sure he had fun doing it, but I think at the end of the day, he's McDreamy. Yeah. I mean, I
feel like he's just kind of done with acting.
And I know for a fact he is.
And they kind of roped him in with both probably money, and he might have had a contractual obligation from back when he did the first one.
Yeah, but this next one,
this one fell the most flat for me.
Maya Rudolph as Malvina.
Yeah,
she stank.
Yeah,
I'm just throwing it out there.
Like, she was a very weak villain in my opinion, which I think Maya Rudolph is a hit and miss kind of actress. So
I will
her
agree.
comedy is usually pretty good to decent.
Yes.
But I understand where she was going with some of her choices, but they really just never really landed with any of them.
Not at all.
It was too stereotypical that
Yes.
it was drawn out and not comedic.
Yes.
It was she had thoughts and good ideas as a villain, but it just wasn't
It left more to be desired,
completely.
in my opinion. Yeah. Okay, so there's the cast.
Yep, there's the cast.
We have one more quick non-spoilerly thing, and it's Alan Menken's soundtrack. Okay. Yes, I will agree. Top-notch music.
Yeah, I do like that Menken did come back to score this again.
Mm-hmm.
There were some songs I definitely like better than others. I know this is against the grain because a lot of people really like this specific song. I was not actually a fan of the villain song.
Oh, I didn't like it either.
A salsa is a very fun thing to do for a villain song. I thought that was really cool as well to have two villains sing a villain song, and Menken's always really amazing at composing villain songs.
Sure.
So I was really looking forward to when we were going to get to that. But when it actually started and it was going through with Maya's choices and acting ability, it kind of hurt the song itself.
Yes.
And then the song itself also just wasn't entirely the best in my opinion, so it just left a lot to be desired. Amy Adams did okay with it, but she performed better in other songs, so this one also just kind of left me a little bit more for wanting. But the song, like I said, that Gabriella Bashani did with Morgan, her I Want song was phenomenal. That's the best Menken that I've seen in years.
I would agree.
He really did a really wonderful job with that one.
Yeah. So, all right. So that's our non-spoiler section. We have now entered our review section.
Yeah.
And
Can
I believe
you go ahead and
I was about to. Patience.
I'm sorry. I will have patience.
Thank you. Thank you. Because you told them I was going to do it at the beginning.
You're right.
Yeah, you toad. All right. So the way we do things, we have three categories.
Yes.
The least bit one is feed it to the dog, Jazz, who is kindly resting.
Hey, buddy.
Meaning we did not like this film at all.
Still should see it.
Yes.
Form your own opinion.
I was going to get there. Shh. Quiet. Don't mind him. Meaning, yes, still form your own opinion, but we did not enjoy the film.
Mm-hmm.
The next category is needs to cook a little more, meaning the film was meh, like it was okay. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad, but it was just there.
Yeah.
The next category is we ate it up, meaning we definitely recommend you watch it as soon as possible on Disney Plus. If you don't have Disney Plus, buy it on DVD, buy it on Blu-ray immediately when it becomes available.
Mm.
All right.
Yeah. Mitch, you did an incredible job despite me interrupting you a whole bunch of times. How about, because I interrupted you a whole bunch of times, why don't you go ahead and start on this one? What did you think of Disenchanted?
Here's the thing. I enjoyed Enchanted,
Yes.
of part of my double feature.
Yeah.
Like, I very much enjoyed
Sure,
Enchanted.
absolutely.
So I had high hopes for this one.
Okay.
This film is one of the most disappointing films of the year for me.
Ooh.
But it's still not Morbius style,
Yeah.
obviously. So this is on the very low end of needs to cook a little more.
Oh,
I
really?
just-
I'm actually kind of surprised about that for you.
I just felt that there was so many misses because there's so many good pieces of the film.
Yeah.
But again, I mentioned this earlier. I think this is a byproduct of a certain CEO with the Walt Disney Company.
That is no longer with us.
That is no longer with us. I just felt, and this is a recurring thing with Disney films this year.
Yeah.
They have great things going into it.
Sometimes great premises, great
Yeah.
ideas going in.
But at the last minute, there is a bunch of stuff cut on the living room floor, and a lot of merchandise gets thrown into the film. And you notice that in this film,
Oh, yeah.
big time.
Oh, yeah.
So I just felt like this is just another byproduct of a poor business decision.
So a low needs to cook a little more for
Yes, Zach.
So I'll actually kind of be the flip of you a little bit. I think this is a high cook a little more.
Okay.
So again,
Surprising.
I did enjoy this film, but there are some very glaring mistakes that could have been fixed.
Yes.
Again, this needed a little bit of a different casting in their villain. Patrick Dempsey's script should have been revised.
He shouldn't even been in the film in the first place.
He should have, because he was a very integral part to Enchanted. So having him not in Disenchanted would be a very big conundrum.
But still.
But it's something that I felt like it needed. The script definitely needed to cook a bit more. We need a casting change. It's a very stereotypical, needs to cook a little more. It's almost the definition of it.
All right, friends, before we sound the alarm, thank you so much for joining us, because we are about to enter the spoiler territory. But if you need to leave, don't forget to leave us a like. Go ahead and comment, subscribe. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave us a comment or email us at elpodcastmz@gmail.com. But now, Zach.
Can I do it?
I
I've
have
been
a
waiting
feeling-
for a little bit to do this one.
Do it.
I've been dreaming of a spoiler section.
I thought you were going to do it, yeah.
We are now officially into our spoiler section, my friends.
And I've been dreaming of a true love's kiss.
They did it in the movie, which I loved. But yes, we are in our spoiler section, my friends. So please, once again, if you do want to remain unspoiled, give us a like, subscribe, and a comment, and email us. But we are in our spoiler section.
We just have one thing.
Just one thing. And the one part that I really was like, okay, I actually really enjoyed this specific moment.
I did too.
Which was, you're at the height of it. We have everything's really going wrong. Malvina looks like that she's going to have her way.
Mm-hmm.
The spell's getting out of control.
You find out that Morgan is a daughter of Andalasia, even though she was adopted.
I really do love that theme of blood does not mean related.
I agree.
I'm always a sucker for that theme.
Yeah, because Morgan is Giselle's daughter.
Yes, 100%.
Like it's proven. Like she adopted.
Yes. And it doesn't matter if it's born or adopted.
Correct.
She is part of the family, and
Right.
she is 100% Andalasian just by that birthright alone.
Sure. No. Yeah. It was a neat moment. I got to give props to whoever. The one good thing of the script that I found. But yeah. All right, friends.
Yeah.
That is Disenchanted.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. Once again, give us a like, leave us a comment. If you have any other questions, comments, or concerns.
Or collaborations.
Oh, don't forget to subscribe too. Go ahead and email us at elpodcastmz@gmail.com. But until next time,
I'm Zach.
I'm Mitch.
And we are an
An excellent little podcast.